And now I've got a problem because I say I believe in the spinning ball. But the scriptures consistently describe the earth as fixed, not moving, on pillars, under a dome enclosure, within which, and this is what really got my attention, the sun, moon, and stars are contained inside the same firmament that the earth appears in Genesis in the creation account. And I don't know how many times I've taught this, the creation account and the creation science stuff, even in my Yahuwah Triangle series back in December.
So anyway, you're already going 1,000 miles an hour as a person by yourself. The Earth is traveling around the sun once per year. It's a trip of 584 million miles. To get the sun back to the exact same point in the sky every year, it has to go all the way around. That means the whole planet is flying at 66,667 miles an hour as a planet on top of your 1,000 miles an hour. You get where we're going?
So that kind of begs the question, how can I be sure that this mathematical reality isn't actually some kind of game or simulation?
So you've analogized yourself to Super Mario in a is this who you are?
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
So in your research, you found things that forced you to consider the likelihood that somebody programmed us. Could you?
Well, that's what you and I had a conversation where I pointed out that in my research I had found this very strange thing. Physicists, I like to say we all belong to a company called Equations R Us. And that's what brought me to this very stark realization that I could no longer say that people like Max were crazy. Or, stated another way, if you study physics long enough, you too can become crazy.
That's another, it's a corollary to that idea, yeah.
And I'm also a science fiction fan, like Max talked about his encounter with Asimov. I was reading at age 8 as opposed to 13, sir.
Snapped!
Got off the slow start.
I was reading at age 8 a science fiction book by an author named Paul French, and some people in the audience might know that's a pseudonym for Isaac Asimov.
Oh.
So science fiction drove me into science in some sense, and then now in my 65th year of life, I find out I have to make friends with Max and people like that.
Triceratops is a super recognizable dinosaur, but we are basing our idea of our Triceratops on something that is not so solid. Howdy gang, Trace here. Thanks for watching D News. I loved dinosaurs as a kid. Maybe you did too. One of my favorites was the Triceratops. It had these big spikes on its head, and it had like a shield carapace. Who was not here for that? Anyway, recently some research was published that said the Triceratops was not real. How did this happen? How did my childhood get tricked?
So just to clarify, so what you're saying is if simulating universes becomes a pastime among those who have access to highly powerful computers, and we are in a universe, we are probably in a simulated universe, even if one of those universes is actually real.
Right. That's basically,
is that a fair?
That's the fair summary, yeah. And if you're not sure at the end of the night whether you're actually simulated or not, my advice to you is go out there and live really interesting lives and do unexpected things so the simulators don't get bored and shut you down.
Is that the cause of death? Okay.
To think that I have the reputation of somebody with integrity that says what he means and means what he says and is being honest with the text. And I think I am. As far as I can tell, I am. And everybody that keeps trying to twist and manipulate the scripts to get a spinning ball, I don't think they are. I think they're putting their preconceived ideas on the text. But if you go back and read Genesis, it doesn't say that. In fact, the word firmament is rakia, I believe, is the word, and it means beaten down metal, like brass, to the point of highly polished brass, like a looking glass or a mirror. It's metal. And why does it have to be metal? Well, Scripture tells us in multiple places because Yahuwah's throne is on top of it, which is also in that Isaiah 40:22 scripture, is that he's sitting there on top of the circle of the earth, looking down on us, and we look like grasshoppers. But some of the other prophets describe his throne sitting on top of this thing, this firmament. We all got our biases to deal with. But I tried to say, okay, if I've never heard of a globe, I'm going to pretend I don't even know what a globe is. I've never even seen a ball. Would I get that out of the scriptures? And this much I am absolutely convinced of. There's no way that anybody coming to the scriptures without the preconceived notion of a spinning ball would ever get that idea from the scriptures. And so this is why I can't let go. People are like, Rob, move on. Come on. You're losing credibility. You're losing your audience. You're losing your reputation. I got all these people trying to tell me this, and I'm like, you know what? Credibility is the ability to infuse belief into somebody. Truth is truth. I'm less concerned about credibility than I am about truth. If I lose my credibility for going after truth, so be it. Whatever. I want to know what the truth is. So credibility, whatever. I don't care about that. And reputation, I would like to think that I have the reputation of somebody with integrity that says what he means and means what he says and is being honest with the text.
take a stand and say fuck this